Today on Kicks Chronicles, we continue our chat with the Emmy Award winner and podcaster, in fact the host of the My First Kicks podcast, Who is Hass, is in the building. I actually challenge Hass to a sneaker battle. In fact, not just a sneaker battle, but a sneaker battle for the ages. Transatlantic, in fact, Nike SBs, his top three versus my top three. And lastly, tells us what two pair of kicks he would take with him if he was stranded on a desert island. This is Kicks Chronicles. Yes, my people, back again. And you already know what it is, just Sneaker and Lifestyle Podcast, Kicks Chronicles. Welcome to episode 97. I'm your boy PROZECH. Welcome once again. Thank you very much for joining us. And first and foremost, thank you for everyone that managed to catch our previous episode with Who is Hass, episode 96. That was part 1. This is part 2. We're cooking. As I said in the intro, we do a sneaker battle, transatlantic sneaker battle, Nike SBs, his top 3 versus my top 3. And obviously, you, the people, will decide who came out victorious in this sneaker battle. Obviously, Desert Island kicks, quick fires. We get into absolutely everything. Really, really cool. Guys, make sure to go and light up Hass, My First Kicks podcast. Show them some love. You get me? Obviously, while you're out here showing love, show love to us as well. Kicks Chronicles, 5-star reviews. You already know. Like, comment, and subscribe. You get me? I got some big news coming. I got some really big news coming. We have secured, by God's grace, an amazing guest for episode 100. You get me? Your boy stays cooking. I've been patterning this for ages. You know how long I've been talking about this. We managed to secure, if I can get my words out, an amazing guest. But I'm not going to talk too long about this because I don't want the intro to be long. You get me? But yeah, just know we got an amazing guest. And I got something cooking up for the community as well. You get me? For your support over the first 100 episodes. Yeah, dig? So yeah, big things are going on. Really looking forward to being able to share more info with you. But in the meantime, just continue to support your boy. And yeah, let's get into the episodes. Once again, I'm your boy PROZECH. This is Kicks Chronicles. And this is the final part 2 of our chat, our conversation, our interview with the host of the My First Kicks podcast, Who is Hass. Enjoy.
Your top 3 versus my top 3.
Okay.
Right? SB Dunks. Right? You're my illustrious guest, so you will be able to go first.
Okay.
You get me? You will be able to go first. The only rule is we cannot say the same shoe.
Okay. Easy.
Cannot say the same shoe. You get me, man? Like, and SB Dunks is far and wide. You get me? Like, so I'm saying I feel like we probably won't say the same shoe, but you never know. We just gotta put it out there. So, bro, as you said, you're my illustrious guest, so I will let you go first.
All right. I'm gonna start off with one of my favorites, the Melvin SB, the black colorway.
Melvin SB, I do not know that shoe, so let me Google that shoe. Melvin
I can go
SB.
get it.
If you've got it to hand, bro.
I got it.
Oh, this guy's about to. Anyway. Okay. The highs, yeah?
The highs.
That's a sick shoe still. That's strong. So what is it about the Melvins, man? What's it about the Melvins?
Come on, man. Look, that shoe is...
That's a strong shoe still.
So... It's funny
I
because...
see the pair that sold at Sotheby's.
How much did it go for?
Bro, it's not even saying the price. Oh, jeez. Oh, my days.
Oh, I gotta stop wearing mine. I just saw the price. But I feel like it's one of the few pairs of sneakers that it's hard. As soon as you see it, there's no other shoe that compares to it, right? You got
Yeah,
the
that's it.
lettering, you got the skull on the top, like it's a black and red shoe that
Yeah.
makes such a big impact on the second glance, because it's not going to get you the first glance. You're going to be like, oh, does that person have like a skull on the top of their shoe? And then you
It's a
look
lot,
down
bro.
again, you're like, whoa, there's like writing on the shoe. Like, yeah, it's one of my favorite shoes of
It's
all
layered.
time.
It's
Yeah.
layered. It's definitely. It's like them films where it's like you got to watch it 2 or 3 times to
It's a
get all the
Kubrick
different
film.
meanings. Yeah. So Stanley Kubrick, strong start.
What you
strong
got?
start. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna keep it local with the first shoe. And it's important to me that I did this. Shout out to Aman Tak. I had Aman from Offspring on the pod recently, and he mentioned this is one of his favorite shoes and one of the best shoes that he has in his collection. I'm talking about the London Dunk. Necessary for a London boy. You gotta have that London Dunk, man. Need that sort of like the Thames on the back heel. Like I'm saying,
You don't feel like
grey,
that's out of that pack, you don't feel like that's like
bro.
not.
I'm going with my team, bro. I rep my city, broski. What you chatting about? You know what I'm saying? Like you're thinking, obviously, you know what I'm saying? There was different cities and stuff, but
Right, yeah.
I'm gonna rep my city, bro.
Look,
Because
I love
LDN, LDN is the best city in the world. Best city in the world. The big smoke, big city in the world.
I think, look, outside of the Tokyo pair from that pack, that might be the bottom 2.
Are you
in
serious?
That pack. Yeah.
Bro.
I'm going to stand on that. Y'all can at me. Who is Haas? But
broski, this guy's out in London. Just putting that one, making that super clear. He's out in London. You get me? But yeah, man, I got.
I think it's a beautiful shoe. I think it's a beautiful shoe.
It's a strong shoe, bro. It's a strong shoe. And the thing is, I'm gonna bounce around. You get me, man? Because that shoe's 2004. So I'm gonna go early. I'm gonna go late.
Yeah. I was just starting off with something light. I was just starting.
Calm. Some people start with a light, and some people start heavy. You get me, man? You get me? I try to be consistent with mine, just straight heavy hitters the whole time. So, you do your thing. You get me?
All right. I think. I mean, since we already in that pack, I might as well hit you with the Floms. That's my.
So
we're just gonna jump right to it then.
Wowza. Wow, oh my days. So the Floms are strong. That's crazy. You get me? It's crazy shoe once again. You get me? Another dunk high. Strong. Yeah, I mean, what can you say?
It's literally my grail. Like,
yeah.
That's
a lot of people's grail, bro. A lot of people's grail. It's a crazy shoe.
The goal is to get the podcast so big that Future is like, I got you. Bam. And he gives it to me. On the episode that I interview him on.
Ooh, imagine, bro. And just before we finish, I just wanted to, broski. Yeah. Sometimes I think about those things and I'm like, bro, just calm yourself down, bro. Don't set yourself up. But yeah, the Flom's a strong shoe. Absolutely can't fault that. I'm gonna go with. You know what? I'm gonna go with a Paris.
Are we staying? We staying? All right. I think that's a good counterpart to it.
This is it, because I'm coming at it from both ends, man. Also, obviously, shout out to the Paris Olympics. You get me? Like, I wasn't there, but a few years ago gone to Paris. You get me? That particular dunk, it's the kind of shoe that if you had it, and you didn't have anything else, if you sold that, you might be able to buy everything else.
Yeah.
You get me? Like, so yeah, it's a good shoe. I
do think it's one of the most overpriced sneakers of all
Definitely
time.
An overpriced shoe. Yeah. Definitely an overpriced shoe.
Like, why? Who's going to pay $325,000?
Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I know somebody who sold 4 pairs of them. So.
Jeez.
Yeah, shout out to Sacred Steels. He's a good follow, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It doesn't seem. It's a shoe where it's like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? You know, like
I hear you, bro.
I'm gonna be like, here's $40K or whatever for a beat pair. I feel like that's the cheapest you can get it right now.
Yeah.
$40K for a beat pair, because I know I'm gonna make an extra $5,000 if I sell it again. Right? I don't know. It's just, maybe this is why I'm not a millionaire. I don't see it as like a way to make more money, but
the other thing,
crazy shoe.
thing for me, apart from the shoe, is the actual design. One of the, once again, like similar to the J tips in the sense that if I did have the shoe and if I did allow myself to wear the shoe, it isn't a shoe that you'd need to match in any way. It's a shoe that's easily wearable, and it's a good looking shoe. I like the shoe. I like the colorway of the shoe. Obviously, the story is sick, City Pack and all that jazz. So yeah, we come full circle on the City Pack. No more City Pack stuff. You get me, man. But bro, this is your final pair.
You better not do little Slam City skates for number one. But you over here, I'm just doing UK brands.
Shout out to Slam City.
So I had a number one. And now I kind of, because of the way you came out, I kind of want to change the number one. But
three for SBs is hard, respectfully, because there's so many.
There's so many.
There's so many. You can do some honorable mentions if you want.
Yeah.
After.
But it's like, which one do I want to cement? Do I want to cement my actual grail that I think is attainable, or do I want to cement a grail? Another grail that's not unattainable. All right, forget it. Let's just do with the second, the backup. We're gonna go number one, Doom SB.
So okay, with respect. So he's gone all highs. He's gone MF Doom.
Yeah, I'm a high guy. I'm not a big low. I'm not a big low person.
I respect it.
I've had cankles for a long time, and
I'm with you on the cankles, bro. You get me? I got them thick boy ankles, bro. Yeah. When I used to do on feet videos,
the extra YouTube. Lotion, you pull out the extra lotion. Like, let me get the under the knuckle,
broski. People used to tell me. The thing is, if you see my legs, it is proportionate.
Yeah.
But if you just see my ankles, it doesn't look like that's an ankle. You get me? He's like, no, that's a lower leg. That's a lower leg. That's not an ankle. Where is his ankle? It's been swallowed by the... So, yeah, I respect it. The highs definitely work. And, yeah, that's a fire shoe. Shout out to MF Doom. Obviously, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
That's amazing shoe.
What if I said that and I was one of those people that don't know who he is? Like, I don't know who he is, but, that MF Doom dunk, it just looked cool. Like,
bro.
The podcast over?
No. The thing is, like, obviously, we're, as we've established, we're of a similar age, right? I've spoken to people that are a lot younger than me.
Yeah.
And, bro, there are people that generally, like, just like kicks. Like, I spoke to a girl called Crep, and she knows a lot about kicks. But her thing was, like, I want to be the content creator for people that don't really know and don't necessarily need to get too deep in the weeds, but just like things.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like that's that Gen Z vibe of like, I don't really know what I'm chatting about, but it sounds like I know what I'm chatting about. And this is it. You don't necessarily need to know the history, Craig Elo and the Buzzer Beater. You don't need to necessarily know the genesis of every single shoe. And me personally, I'm a student in the game, but I don't know everything.
Right, yeah.
And I'm learning all the time. You mentioned a couple of kicks that I didn't know about. So it's like, I'm just open to learning. Some people aren't open to learning. And they just like what they have.
This is the game, right? Like, growing up, it's like, you either knew everything or you don't. But then at the same time, it's like, which is, I'm pretty sure people might get pushback from this, but we're nerds about this stuff. If you're a nerd about it, like this is the nerd stuff. Like, if you're listening to us, shout out to you for listening. But we're all nerds. Like
100%. Just know for a fact, if you're listening or watching this, broski, we're nerds, bro.
Yeah.
I literally had this discussion with my wife like a couple of days ago. We were literally talking about whatever, and I said, like, and I was saying to her, like, I was saying, both me and my wife, there are things that she knows about that I'm like, how the hell do you know that,
Yeah.
bro? I've been on, like, I've done TV shows, like about I've done TV competitions and quizzes and stuff. I've won stuff on TV because just like things I know, I just know them, right?
Right.
And it's like, yeah, whatever. Like people are like, how do you know that? And I'm like, I don't know how I know it, but when I like something, I just really like it, and so I
Yeah.
just go and
You
find
start
out loads
deep
and
dive
loads.
into
This is
it.
it.
Yeah.
Just rabbit hole after rabbit hole. I'm digging
Yeah.
and I'm digging. So it's just one of them things, and I probably have pushed out something important. You get me? But
Your birthday
for real.
been gone.
But it is what it is, broski. So I just
Yeah.
like, it's just like, accept it. We're nerds. You get me? Is there a difference between a nerd and a geek? I feel like asking an American that question is important.
I feel like a
because you
geek
said
is like you get pushed around type of person. Like
geeks have no EQ, bro.
No, yeah.
Geeks don't read the room. They're so deep in their thing. In my opinion, they're so deep in their thing that they've allowed like regular life and just like the application of wisdom to go past them. They're like so deep in whether it be anime or whatever that it's like, bro, like they haven't bathed for a few days. Like it's like, bro, like just wake
Nah,
up.
that's an otaku. That's an otaku. If it's anime, it's an otaku. But I feel like I'm talking about like I think like geeks are like if you go to school and they're geeking out over like, yo, we're doing math. I'm hype. Yo, we got this test tomorrow. Let's go. Like that's a geek. Yeah. Oh,
Bro,
Mr. Or like you'd be like, oh, Mr. Whatever. You forgot to give us our test. Nah, you was a geek. Like,
bro,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Because that's never me.
Yeah.
That was never me.
Nah, I'm like, I'm trying to get out of here.
For real,
I had to study for this test. I'm trying to get out of here.
I like what I like, but I never try to do no test, respectfully. Cool.
So yeah, but nerding out or like, you know, being a nerd over something is just, you know, we're just really into it. And so
it's that passion, bro.
Yeah. I like hearing the perspective of people not into this because you get to learn the outside of the outside looking in of it. Yeah. And so, man. Yeah, when I have people on, because I've had several people who are not into sneakers on because I feel like sneakers are part of everybody's journey, but the journey doesn't have to just like our conversation does not have to stop at sneakers.
This is it, man. Do you know what, man? You literally like, because I mean, I'm exactly the same. I feel like sneakers are a conversation starter.
Yeah.
I feel like it's an opportunity for us to connect in one area and then allows us to then fly off into various different places and have a discussion. And we can stay here. Because the thing is, the other thing with me is...
No, we can't stay here. I want to hear your number one. Where's the number one? We can come back. We can come back.
You know what? Let's get to this number one. Right? And to be honest, it's not my number one. It's my number three because I started with my number one.
Mm-hmm.
I went with the London, but I think my number three. This shoe is important to me because it was like a ray of sunshine during the pandemic. It was something that came out, and it was a shoe that really. It was just like when it was real doom and gloom. A shoe came out that sort of just made everyone smile.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, and it was a collaboration with a brand, and the collaboration was done so seamlessly that I always will praise it in that regard because I feel like collaborations sometimes get a little bit shoehorned where there's not enough of the collaborator in the actual shoe, and we're resting or relying too much on the cachet of the SB or whatever the silhouette is, and not on like that real true relationship between the collaborator and the shoe. And I'm talking about the Ben & Jerry's Chunky Donkey. That shoe to me was, as I said, a little ray of sunshine during a real dark time. And yeah, very important shoe in my opinion. Amazing collaboration, seamless collaboration. Yeah, man, absolutely love that shoe. Absolutely love that shoe.
I think and sorry for rebuttaling every single sneaker that you've been and done in this battle, but I think without the hype of like all this resale stuff, right? I think that shoe in the US, I think that shoe would not have been as big.
This guy's yeah, I'm gonna say he's chatting, bro. He's chatting.
I'm not just chatting.
He's chatting, bro.
I think because I feel like Ben and Jerry's has been an ice cream has been a super afterthought. Nobody talking about no Ben and Jerry's over here. I don't know how big Ben and Jerry's is over there, but I think that like no kid is like, oh, I can't wait to go get some fish food after this. I can't wait to do Americones. Let me do Americone. I barely see Ben and Jerry's in my supermarket, and so yeah. So I don't know how relevant that shoe is. I think a lot of the content creators during that time was actually on it because they felt like it was an empty collaboration where it was just
bro.
They were just picking at like we get those. I think we still get one of those out of the every year, right? Last year we got the Powerpuff Girls.
I think the year before was the Doritos.
Yeah, Doritos, and then Ben and Jerry's was the year before. It's like a weird collaboration. Like I've never seen a skateboarder on the skateboard being like, this fish food is amazing. Like, like, so yeah.
But the thing is,
I know it's a ray of sunshine for you. I know.
No. I love the shoe.
Yeah.
And I respect the rebuttal because I think obviously there are levels to collaborations and like there are legitimate like cultural connections between certain brands, which I completely understand and get. I think for me, like I think it was more representative of the time. So maybe you're right in a sense that particular time was just like we placed so much of our happiness in Kicks during that period of time. It was I'm saying like that period was a completely boom period. In fact, we created a bubble that has slowly and eventually burst.
It burst.
And we're seeing that in the market currently. But I don't take away from that particular shoe in that regard. I think that particular shoe was done perfectly. I think the integration, I think the I'm saying that just the cow print and the whimsical nature of the shoes. And the thing is, Ben & Jerry's, even though it's not a UK brand, respectfully, is big in the UK.
Yeah.
It's Ben & Jerry's and Haagen-Dazs. Like those are the two biggest in terms of those single pint types of ice creams. There are obviously UK brands, but you're not like people don't chat about those. You get me? Like so yeah, I put a bit of respect on it, and that shoe just put it at the forefront. So yeah, no, I respect what you said, but respectfully, that's my number 3. You get me?
All right.
Respectfully, that's my number 3. Are you gonna do some honorable mentions?
Yeah, sure. Honorable mention: Huff SB, the highs.
Strong.
That's one of my favorites of all time. That tie dye is crazy.
Yeah.
The lows are cool, but the highs are it. Tweet SBs, baby. That's another one that I was thinking about putting on the list, but I mentioned it earlier, so I was just like, let me not. I was gonna mention the Gundams because I like Gundams, so those are really cool. There was even the recent drop with their skateboard lows. Those are really cool. I like those. And a last one, I'd probably say Slam City Skates because I was gonna say them. Those are super clean.
They're clean. They're super clean. I was gonna mention as well. Obviously, everyone always talks about the pigeons to Jeff Staples. That's fire. But I already had a grey pair, and I was like, I didn't really want to like grey it out too much. But I loved the para. The
Olympic joints.
Yeah, they're sick. I mean, there's a Tiffany's as well.
Tiffany's,
shoe. And that's kind of interesting when you compare that Tiffany, which is obviously an unofficial Tiffany shoe, with the actual Tiffany Air Force One, which I think they got completely wrong. So yeah, that was interesting.
Well, what my rebuttal for that is one is done with the brand, one is done with a person who well, look, Nikki Diamonds is one of maybe greatest streetwear designers of all time, in my opinion. Creating the diamond
supply,
supply
yeah.
was iconic for 10 years stretch, right? And so but it's also an offshoot of like just Tiffany's, right? Where it's like you guys are using this exclusive color because I've worked I've worked in print, and it's like you can't even use that Tiffany's color. You have to
Yeah,
pay
yeah.
Tiffany's to
That's
use
the
that
yeah.
color,
They own that
right?
color. They own
Yeah.
that color outright.
So
Yeah.
what they did was get as close as possible with that shoe, right? Like the what's the real color is what's on the Air Force, and what is not the real color. But that shoe is so synonymous with being called the Tiffany that it gets put against that Air Force One.
Yeah, and it wins.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, and vice versa, and the Dunk is gonna win regardless because it looks more luxe than Air Force One in black. So yeah, black suede,
bro. Like I don't know who consulted on the Tiffany collaboration, but they made a massive mistake because Air Force Ones are what we use in the UK to steal from jewelry jewelry shops, not to go in as customers and buy. That is not a representative of a Tiffany's customer in any way, shape, or form. And I would say, I mean, the friends and family was slightly better, but I
did not like that friends and family.
It was slightly better in the sense that it just like looked a little bit different.
Yeah.
And it's not a black, bro, respectfully, a black Air Force One. If you see any of the man them, right, wearing black Air Force Ones, bro, it's either just about to happen or it's already happened.
Yeah, it's done.
Bro, you need to go. So this is it, bro. Man. So I'm like, they flop like entirely, bro. But bro, very good battle. You get me, and it's clean as well. Like all highs, all lows. Like people will decide. I feel like decent from all sides. You get me. I'm gonna let the police go before they. I mean, it's America.
They're here to pick me up because I set fire to this battle.
But bro, no. Let's get into my first kicks.
Yeah.
Podcast. It's like you mentioned it earlier. I think 180 plus episodes.
Yeah, working on 188 right now. Like, by the time I think you might be. No, actually, you might not be. You might be 189. So
respectfully, I like that, man. I like that. Like obviously, it's been something that you've given a lot of your time, energy, and effort to. For you, where do you see it going? What do you want to achieve with this podcast? And for those that don't know about the podcast, just give us a quick understanding of what the podcast is about.
Yeah, I mean, my first kicks, I bring on a guest and I ask them what's that first pair of sneakers they absolutely need to have. Similar to how you have people on for Kicks Chronicles, you know. I'll be honest with you, like if you had me or if you showed me your podcast the year I started mine, I'd probably be upset. I'd be like, why am I doing this? Because it's very similar, right?
Yeah.
But as time, I mean, I'm on year 4 of doing this. As time progresses, you realize that, shout out to my boy, no idea is original. So you gotta like chalk it up to be like, who can do it like you? And nobody can do it like you.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. But I bring on a guest. I ask them what's their first kicks, what's that first pair of sneakers they absolutely need to have. And from there, I use it as a through line to have a conversation and to where they are now, right? It doesn't necessarily need to be about sneakers. It depends. You know, I've had writers like Nick DePaula and Russ Bankston on, and we are talking terms, we're talking sneakers growing up, we're talking just their impact on the actual game that we are currently, you know, part of, right? Or I've had people like J Tips and talking about his path into releasing his first sneaker. But it always ranges because I don't necessarily think my podcast is a sneaker podcast, even though it gets pitched like that whenever it is. And the problem is I did start it off as like like, oh, I got these questions. You got to answer these questions. What lineups were you on? Blah, blah, blah. Not everybody's got that. So I had to pivot and be like, yo, this is for everybody because everybody has a story to tell. I can have anybody on. I've had comedians, musicians. I've had, writers, just sneakerheads that I've grown up with. Like, I try to give a wide range of something that I'm super passionate about and that I can literally pull up and talk to in Mike every single moment of the day. So that's what I started with. And 180 some episodes, working on my way to 200, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with 200 currently. But it's been a crazy journey because, like I said,
Amazing.
when I first started the pandemic, and it, little people here and there of just like, just reaching out to people that just mess with me. And now I almost just stopped because, listen, podcasting is not for the weak. I'm sure like you got to just keep grinding, figure out ways to stay motivated because you have the hardest part is not getting to the mic. The hardest part is to put this stuff together, to keep coming back, keep trying to bring fresh ideas that when you're seeing the numbers not go up, you're like, what am I doing wrong? Okay, let me change this. How do I get in front of more people? And I'm still battling that. I'm not to where I thought I would be, but I'm still here. So if you're starting a podcast, I'd suggest you not. But I'll be straight up with you.
That's a big shout, man. I mean, from your perspective, as a podcaster with like nearly 200 episodes in the game, I mean, like, respectfully, like, do you have any advice? Because I think in what you just said, you have dropped a number of gems, but like, did you potentially receive any advice that you thought was really good and has helped you, or have you got any advice that you think would be particularly pertinent at this stage?
My biggest advice is to actually listen to people because you're creating something that people are listening to, right? So if somebody tells you, hey, the audio is off on this, go back and figure out why, right? Don't just keep doing the same thing and keep putting that out. But at the same time, it's like I'm coming from. So my biggest thing is I have to keep asking for advice, right? Because people are some people, when you get big enough, you're gonna get people telling you what's wrong with your stuff. But once you're starting, that route of just people trying to be giving you advice is few and far between because they don't want to be part of the show. They want to be like, I just want to listen to this and then just go about my day, right? So you're never gonna really get like a critical advice, or like unless PROZECH, you're like, yo, Haas, I need you to listen to this episode. Tell me what you think about it. Where my question is good, blah blah blah. I'll give you advice. I've done it for several people. I'm 100% like, I want everybody to win, and the problem is that not a lot of people want everybody to win. They'd rather just sit back, watch you flounder, figuring it out, and not be like, yo, these are steps that I think you should do, or here's a little bit of this, you got some hissing in your mic, blah blah blah, and see how receptive you are to that. Because the soonest you give advice to people who don't want advice, they're gonna just lash out at you, right?
This is it, man.
So
this is it.
My biggest advice is to listen to advice.
No, I respect that, and I absolutely agree. I feel like with this thing, or with any creative outlet or project, you kind of putting your heart on your sleeve, and it's real emotional and sensitive. And people handle that in different ways, and some people are real sort of mature with it, and some people are a little bit sort of touchy with it, and it's a bit difficult for them to be able to take things on. And I think we get there. Hopefully we get there. We all get to the point where we can actually listen and grow. But I completely get where you're coming from in that regard, because I've had to solicit for advice from various different people. And by the way, that analogy that you gave of me asking you to listen to an episode, that's probably going to happen in the future. I didn't know that you were a prophet, but that's actually probably going to happen. So you get me, like, because no, I do appreciate that, and I think that goes both ways as well. I think ultimately there is space for all of us, and you mentioned it earlier, and it's important because, like, somebody might be listening to this podcast and thinking, hold on, my first Kicks Chronicles, they've kind of got a similar premise. But the reason why I reached out to you, and I can't remember how we connected.
I reached out to you. Okay. I got the LinkedIn messages. We can talk about it.
Fairs. But the reason why I think on different platforms we may have reached out to each other at different times. But definitely the reason why I felt no way about having that conversation is because I knew in my heart that prior to me starting, I had not seen my first Kicks. So I knew I was coming from a place of purity, and I knew, okay, I can actually have this conversation. Now, there was a point where you reach out to me, and at that moment when you reach out to me, if I'm a different type of person, I could then say, you know what, let me ignore this or let me shun this. But then I look at it, for me, as the person that I am, and I say this is an opportunity, right? And just as you put it, it's an opportunity for me to learn and grow for somebody that's actually done nearly twice as many episodes as I've done and learned different lessons and been in different rooms. And I think the opportunity to learn and grow, regardless of stature or status, is something that we always need to be open to. You get me, man? And that's 100% the reason why I was like, bro, yeah, let's sort this out, man. And especially from our perspective as men of color, like, it's so important that we are supporting each other.
Yeah.
Like, because there's so much of us in the media and other places of people tearing each other down, and it's like, if you bust case and become the biggest sneaker related or talk podcast, bro, I know I can't be too far behind. I know I'm gonna be doing okay.
Yeah.
You get me? I know I'm gonna be doing okay.
Yeah.
If not for the fact of, like, if there's any sponsorships you don't want, you can send them my way. You get me? We got that
there you go.
We got that transatlantic thing, but we don't have to go in each other's market. We're good. The mind is different, bro.
When I first started out, right, I reached out for a specific guest, and that guest, who will eventually be a guest, they told me that they were working on something that was similar. And then I looked at it and I was like, this is not it. It was a concept, but turned into a book. And I was just like, this is not it. Like, what I got is a fresh idea, blah, blah, blah. You know, I was so big-headed and hard-headed about it, which I go about a lot of things hard-headed as well. But once I took that step back and I realized nobody can tell it from your perspective.
Absolutely.
Like, you got to bite down on that. Like, I think the biggest hurdle that people need to get over is that your idea may be common. It can be a common idea. Everybody's got water, but look how many brands still make it water, right?
Facts.
What's different? Like, what is different? And the difference is you lived your life, I lived my life, right? We both can literally ask each other the same questions and give each other two different answers, right?
Absolutely.
But it's all about how you go about it, right? When I first started, I was so gung-ho on, like, this is it, right? I learned over a year I had to be more adaptable of, like, if I'm not able to have certain conversations with everybody, then maybe the idea is there, but the idea needs to mold and change, right? So that adaptability has been one of my biggest strengths growing up, and I learned that mostly in my career, of just, like, if the idea is fire and you stick behind it and you believe in your idea, you're gonna figure out a way to make the idea you're gonna figure out a way to make the idea work.
Absolutely.
And so
absolutely.
Yeah, just don't give up. Look, you could say that I've got, twice as much episodes, but your numbers can be out this moon, right? And you can have way more listeners than me, right? That off of, and I've seen that. I've seen
I've seen
podcasts with people that, you know, they don't even have 50 followers, just go crazy because their clips, they figured out their way how to do it through social media. Like, so, you know, you got to figure out where your talents lie and use that to your strength. If you just want to talk on a microphone like me, and you want to just, you know, kind of just half-heartedly, I had to switch the word, half-heartedly, you know, do social clips like me, then you're going to do that. You're going to do that way. You're going to go as slow as I am. So I'm not this big social savant. I don't claim to be, but you know, everybody has their own weaknesses in their game plan. But as long as you believe in yourself and you believe in your idea and you believe what you're putting out is the quality content that you want to put out, that you believe that your words matter and you believe that your passion is showing through everything that you're doing, just keep going.
Absolutely. I could not have put it any better, bro. Absolutely. Nah, man. Absolutely top tier, top level advice.
And also what the goal is with the podcast, because before because you asked me that at the end. The goal with the podcast, right, is to create a platform where I'm part of the conversation. I don't know if people understand what that means fully when I tell it to them, but I want it to be like where if you have a story and you want to tell these stories and you're into sneakers, just pull up. Like, that's where they're like, I need to come through. I need to come through. You know, when J Tips came on my podcast and he said, I felt honored when he said this. And then you could see my face light up if you're watching it. It's like, you know, he said, I'm a man of the people, and these are one of the places I needed to be. And I was like,
respect it.
I was like, yeah, I want that feeling for every episode, right? I want people to hit me up and be like, hey, you know, even though I got something cool coming or whatever, I may not have something cool coming out, but I want to, you're the spot I want to tell my stories. I want to come to you first. And that's my goal.
I love that. That's amazing. And
then they can come to you after.
For real. Get me. No problem whatsoever. Get me. Because of the language barrier anyway, so we have to translate it.
He's like, excuse me, Mandem? What? You're lucky I watched Top Boy.
Did you see Supercell as well?
No, I didn't even finish Top Boy. I was gonna do Summer House, and I didn't get to Summer House.
Oh, yeah.
And then I switched shows. And then and I gotta finish The Gentleman too, because but I'm also a big Guy Ritchie guy, so I knew.
Yeah, Guy Ritchie's decent. Guy Ritchie's decent. Summer House, the original Top Boy. It was shot so long ago that it feels a little clunky. But it's important to watch that. There were certain building blocks that were placed.
I wish I watched Summer House first before I started. Yeah.
Before we do quick fires, right? I want to ask you one of my most favorite questions. It's a question I ask every single guest. It's called Desert Island Kicks.
Okay.
You are lost on a desert island. You don't know how you got there, but you got 2 pairs of shoes with you. Don't have to be from your collection, but there can be any 2 pairs of shoes in the world. But remember, you're on a desert island. Yeah. I just want to know what 2 pairs of shoes you have with you and why.
God. I'll probably do Air Max 90 Bacon.
Okay.
Because the desert island get cold, and those will warm my feet up at night.
The Bacons will warm your feet up at night.
Yeah. Because it's all leather. Okay. And then I need to be honest, I've always wanted a shoe, and I'm still trying to find a pair. The Gore-Tex Nike SBs. Okay. So I got one shoe that is all weather, right? I can be in the water with that shoe, getting these fishes, right? And then I got the night shoe to keep my feet warm. I'm going logical. I'm not going grail. Like people be like, let me get Floms and a Foamposite Galaxy, Air Mags. I'm like, what are you gonna do with that on the desert island?
Bro, when you said the bacons though, I'm still like, yeah, all right, bacons, but bacons, bro, bacons are a fire shoe. Don't get me wrong, it's probably the best Air Max 90, but like, yeah, the bacons is definitely a little left field. But your rationale kind of makes sense because it is an all leather shoe, especially the earlier models are definitely maybe a real good quality.
It's an all leather shoe.
It's a very good quality leather. So,
but I'm also thinking like you said desert island. That's the sand's not gonna eat away at that.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. It's a solid shoe. Yeah. It's a solid shoe, man. But the Gore-Tex makes complete sense. That's a solid couple pairs. That's a couple pairs. I had to get my head around the bacons, but I can get with it. Man. But yeah, now let's do some quick fires, man. So these like we're just going to be shooting off the cuff. I'm going to give you an either or and just tell me if there are any sort of fishy, crazy answers that I get from your sides. We might come back to it at the end.
Okay.
You get me? But yeah, all of that being said, if you're ready, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this in 3, 2, 1. Straight off the bat, Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Nike or Nike?
Nike.
New Balance or Adidas?
New Balance.
Can you wear Nike and Adidas together, yes or no?
Yes, don't care.
What was your last sneakers app win?
Their SBs.
Okay. Do you have a Jordan number, as in your favorite Jordan, and if so, what?
Jordan 4.
Respectfully. YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok?
YouTube.
Sneakers, kicks, or crepes?
Kicks.
Okay.
I got to be on brand.
Makes sense. Yeah, we'll both be on brand on that one. Spotify or Apple?
Apple.
Interesting. Okay. Favorite collaborator?
DQM.
Respectfully. Vans or Converse?
Vans.
Laces or slip-ons?
Laces.
All right. Default laces, or are you doing patterns with your laces?
Default laces.
With respect. Custom shoes or straight factory settings?
Straight factory.
Retro or innovation?
Innovation.
Flip-flops or slides?
Neither.
You have to pick one.
I have to pick?
No dilly-dally.
Slides.
Cool. Socks or barefoot?
But in what? In the shoe? Or outside?
Pick one.
Socks.
It's always a safe option. Comfort or style?
Comfort.
Fresh and clean or beaten and battered?
Fresh and clean.
Washing machine or hand wash your kicks?
Hand wash, because I just don't wash.
That's fair. Lows, mids, or highs?
Highs.
And last question in this: triple blacks or white and whites?
Triple blacks. I'm doing it. Let's go.
This guy's on that.
Yeah, I'm on demon time.
You get me, man. Fairly unscathed. You did say something that I do want to touch on, though, right? And you said this with chess, so I just need to understand.
Okay.
Where this level of confidence comes from. I just want to understand what's going on. First and foremost, is your headphones, are they working? Can you hear what I'm saying?
I can hear you well.
You hear me clearly.
Yeah.
You don't need to run a test or anything. We're good.
Yes.
Cool. So I asked you, can you hear me is what I'm saying?
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, I asked you, can you wear Nike and Adidas together? Yes or no? You said...
Yes, don't care.
Okay. Can you wear Nike and Adidas together, yes or no?
Yes.
Wow.
Wow, what?
Why?
Because it shouldn't matter. We always crisscross brands regardless. Is your shirt the same as the pants?
No.
So Why should it matter that the pants and each of these two brands are crisscrossed? Like,
The reason it should matter, right, is because if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything, House. And
no,
you
it's
know
not.
that.
No, it's not.
Right, and you know that, right? And you know that, bro. You know that we need to pick a side, G. We need to pick a side, bro. You get me? This is what I'm saying, man. And you've got used, yeah, to sitting on that fence, right? So you don't know, you don't want to choose, right? You've been used to sitting on that fence for way too
I
long,
mean,
bro. You better pick a side, G. You better pick a side, bro.
look, my collection is mostly Nikes. The side has been picked, but if I see somebody else, see, this is what I'm saying. Like, what's cheaper, a pair of Nike sweatpants or a pair of Adidas sweatpants?
I have no idea, bro.
Adidas sweatpants. You can go to the outlets and get some Adidas sweatpants.
Literally
But
wearing Adidas.
yeah,
That
so
Adidas,
put on the J's real quick.
that no, bro. I don't know what would happen to me if I stepped out my house like that. But
Self combust.
for real, just explode on sight, bro. But do you know what, man? I've spoken to so many people about this, and I say a lot of this in jest, and I completely understand people's like different budgets and blah blah blah. And I get it, bro. And yeah, like everybody do what you want to do. Who cares, right? But on the same side, just know that there are going to be people out here that are going to judge you.
Yeah.
If you're walking around with 3 straps going into a swoosh, bro, they're going to judge you and they're not going to trust you. You're maybe going to go for a job interview or talk to them, and they're going to cross the road and they're not going to give you the job because they're not going to want to associate with you because I'm saying you're double-minded, bro. You're double-minded, bro. You're neither here nor there, bro. So this is my thing, bro. Just acknowledge the fact that the world, you know what I'm saying, there are certain brands that don't go together like that. They don't go together. You get me? Like, and it's just one of them ones, man. And it's not me saying that Adidas are the big brand and Nike the other brand, and they can't like that fight, that battle is over. Respectfully, it's been over for a long time. Although Adidas are definitely having a moment now, but like I just grew up in an era where it just was never done, and I don't think I could ever do it. Although, with respect, somebody did mention that, and I kind of do hear this. They were like, if I can see it, put them under the jail. But if I don't see it, then no harm, no foul. And I feel like I'm on that. I feel like I'm on that wave, bro. I feel like if you can't see it, bro, if I've got the socks on, right, but I haven't lifted them high enough for you to see that swoosh, then I'm saying no harm, no foul. They're just white socks.
Look, maybe I'm at fault, but I literally ball. I play ball every Saturday. I ball in Kyrie Antas and Nike Elite socks. Like, it does not matter. Like, I think
that's fine. That's fine.
Oh, that's fine.
It's Nike and Adidas. That's the issue. It's Nike and Adidas. That's the issue.
When I get AE1s, because I'm gonna get AE1s to ball in,
bro, yeah.
I'm gonna send you a picture of me in Nike Elite socks and AE1s, and I just want to see. I need a video reaction.
You're gonna get a video reaction. You're gonna be on my story that day. I'm gonna be roasted. G.
The man them bugging. He's got. I don't know. I was gonna start using some like Cockney slang.
You've been watching The Gentleman.
He's got 2 cherubs on a pocket square, and he don't know what he's doing. You know, like
and the prize for the deadest English accent of all time. You're bugging, bro. You're bugging on the accent, broski. But the last couple questions I'm going to ask you, because this is really, really important. I think that the term sneakerhead we definitely band about and use, probably overuse if we're being honest, in the community. I just want to understand from your perspective, what does it actually mean?
So I don't know why we've been arguing about this as of late in the community. It doesn't make sense to me, right? Back in the day, people were called sneakerheads in terms of just like, oh, you've only got sneakers on the brain, so you're dumb, and now you're a sneakerhead. Like, that's like the why it was being said. I've always avoided it. I've never really was like, hey, I'm a sneakerhead. I've always been like, I'm a sneaker enthusiast. But then as I got older, I'm like, am I just being a just a hardhead about it? Like, why should it matter, right? Um, to me, I think it's I think it's we shouldn't be trying to stigmatize a word where it does represent people, but it's turned around. Because before, I remember being called a sneakerhead by people on the street and being like, "Oh yeah, Hassan's a sneakerhead. Hassan's a sneakerhead," and it wasn't like a term of like, "Oh yeah, he only cares about
Yeah,
sneakers and
it
that's it."
wasn't a negative thing.
Yeah. Then you have documentaries and shows about being a sneakerhead. So I don't understand why all the hate all of a sudden. And you know, some people have different paths with the word, and all that is, I guess, should be taken into account. But if you call yourself a sneakerhead and you are proud of it, and you are a person that feels that that is a term that defines you, that you're into sneakers and that makes you a sneakerhead, then so be it. Like, I don't I don't necessarily even call myself a sneaker enthusiast anymore. I just say, hey, I'm into sneakers. Like, I like sneakers. And
I respect
I've
that.
gone away from using a term to dictate if this dictates my personality or something like that. Because I'm not only just into sneakers. Like, obviously, I like Supreme. I collect comics. Like, I'm into a lot of things. And to me, that's all lives under nerddom. Like, we all are nerds. And I think we need to accept that, like, nerds are cool now. Nerds have been cool for years. And just because we are nerds about sneakers, we don't need, like, when's the last time you heard anybody call somebody a comic book head, right? Like, that's like, we're just into sneakers, and we don't need to be fighting over the word sneakerhead either.
With all of that being said, Hass of my first Kicks podcast, Emmy Award winning. Are you a sneakerhead?
Yeah, I mean, I'll stand on it. I'll stand on business.
That's the Drewski's coming out, man. Standing on business.
Stand on business.
Standing on business with respect. And to be honest, yeah, I mean, I completely agree with what you said in terms of the culture and our use of the word. I feel like sometimes because we are nerds, we do take things a little bit too seriously, and we understand that certain things are just there as quote unquote identifiers and ways to identify a group of people or a niche or a collective. And I think I look at it as a term of endearment because it refers to one of the things I'm passionate about and really love. And it, also a group of people that share that as well. So yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, Hass of my first Kicks podcast, you get me. The highest honor I have available to me is to bestow upon you the fact that you are 100% Kicks Chronicles certified sneakerhead. You get me? And
I'm honored.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You should be, because that's the best I've got.
That means I get to pull up to London now and just whatever I want, right?
Yeah. Nah, pull up.
I got clearance, right? As they say in the streets.
Bro, yeah. I mean, you still got to check in, obviously, but I mean,
who I got to check in with?
I mean,
Jason Statham. I gotta.
You might have to check in with Giggs.
Yeah. Dave B.
No, the man there. Yeah, bro, this has been an absolute pleasure. I'm so happy we got to do this finally. As I'm working towards a milestone, like these are the type of podcasts that like I actually like really look forward to, because it's an opportunity for me to learn from people that have gone ahead and people that are doing similar things, doing great things. And yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure, broski. So yeah, 3-4 million people are going to listen to this. You already know.
Yeah, of course.
So it's important for me to let you know that this is your chance, this is your opportunity to let them know what you've got going on in your life, how they can support, and where they can find you.
Nah, yeah. Yo, hit me up. Who is Haas on all social medias? Follow the podcast, My First Kicks Pod. If you're on YouTube, My First Kicks on YouTube, hit that up. I need some. I'm only 110 subscribers away from 500, so let's get there. I'm trying to get there. You know, you up there with the 7,000 followers. 7,000.
I don't think I'm a 7,000, but I'm claiming that.
You got millions, the millions and millions. Weekly podcast. I drop it every week. I literally have maybe like 5 UK listeners, so I'll gladly take some of the Prozechians,
let's try and definitely help man out on that regard, man. That demo, we need to increase that demographic, man.
For sure. And then, I'd like to make it a little bit interactive. So if you have a My First Kicks story and you want me to read it to my guests, hit me up, myfirstkickspod@gmail.com. Or if you have any sneakerhead related questions, hit me up. I always like to read those to specific guests as well. So My First Kicks Pod, everywhere you can find your podcast, or My First Kicks, everywhere you can find your podcast.
Guys, make sure once again to light him up. He's been amazing on the pod. Like, it's been an absolute pleasure. While you're out there following and liking Who is Hass and listening to My First Kicks, maybe give Kicks Chronicles a listen. Remember to review, people. Mm-hmm. It's important we leave those stars. 5 stars. I'm talking on our behalf right now, but 5 stars only. I feel like that's the currency we're dealing with right about now. Mm-hmm. You're getting me 5 stars only. And PROZECH on all social media platforms. Once again, Hass, been an absolute pleasure, bro. See you next week. We'll keep this thing rolling, bro. Man. But for everybody else, remember to look after yourselves. Like, comment, and subscribe as well. We always need to say that. I don't know why after about 50 years of the internet, but yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, bro. And until I see you, man, down the road, everybody stay blessed.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Kicks Chronicles. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, rate, review, and all that good stuff. And remember, full video version is available on YouTube, audio versions available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.